Welcome along, everybody. We're back for bronze action. It's Tuesday night then, and we're just about to get started a few minutes early as well then. Fantastic stuff indeed. And as the timer ticks down then, we are ready to go for season 10 then, round 7 for bronze then here in España, of all places as well then, at the circuit de Catalonia as well then, to crack on then for this season as well then, almost at the halfway point for all seasons, to be fair. We've been speeding through this one, and well done indeed to everyone who has been putting on a show week in, week out. Then we're going to have another show tonight then from bronze, and there we are then. As good luck everyone from Styles in the comment section as well then, and hi Mushroom then, but Mushroom was lurking there. He has said I'm not here, so he's not there. So there we go then, good stuff. And that's that then. As we get ourselves started then into qualifying, we'll run through the top of the order then in both championships then for bronze. Let's see what's going on then in the championships after Imola then round 6. Then Dynamo Dan leads the way then for Williams, and he is 97 points on the board then for the championship leader then, but he's being very closely matched then by Reflection in P2. 92 points then for the Aston Martin outfit. Then of course after a fantastic race last week in Imola as well then, Smithy Almighty has jumped up the queue then into 82 points then with P3 and looking very strong indeed. Then Rosa Sky then has had a bit of a shaky couple of races and he's down in P4 but looking to bounce back then in this round as well. Then Hungry Star was in P5 as well, looking formidable in the last few races. Then Rocket Lee as well, then fantastic pace in qualifying. Can he convert it this time into a race victory then potentially? Then we'll see in P6 for now. So Serious Mushroom then in P7 for the Alpine outfit as well. Then San in P8 for the McLaren team. Mr. Elite in the Alpine machine as well, P9 then, so San in a bit of an Alpine sandwich there for San, but there he is. And Stephen Anthony rounds off the top 10 then for Williams. In the constructors we go then, and the constructors are as is. Then Aston Martin lead the way with 147 points, then switching places then with championship leader then Dynamo Dan then in the driver's standings, that is, in Aston Martin in P1 then, and Williams in P2 with 141 points then, so they are only 6 points behind then the green machines of the Aston Martins as well then, so it's not all tied up just yet. Then Ferrari then jumping up into P3 with 118 points, so about 23 points off the second spot, then 29 points off the top spot as it stands going into this round. And we'll have to wait and see then how they're going to fare then in this Spain Grand Prix as well then. Kicks out, we're in P4, 110 points, then Alpine with 100 points in P5, McLaren on 85 in P6, then Racing Bulls with 85 as well in P7, then Mercedes in with 43 in P8, Red Bull with 20 in P9, and Haas, sorry, I'll bring it up the rear for the time being, that is, but they've started to pick up form, then have the Haas pair as well, P10 I should say, then in the constructors standings. So that is the situation then as we go into Spain. Let's see how it's going to unfold then on the circuit as well then. Umabro is the first driver to start off a flying lap. I haven't even got the telemetries up then, goodness me, as we head in towards turn 1 then for the green machine as well then. Car number 32 then going through the first couple of corners then to start off the qualifying session here with 15 minutes to go then along this qualifying session, and to set the grid for the 33 laps of action to unfold. Housier said good evening fellas, and have a good one as well. Then I'm in space, says Mushroom then. Alpine sandwich. Oh dear. As I think maybe Mushroom is getting a bit too excited over in space there. Hopefully he comes back down to orbit then as well as we go through sector 2 then for Umadbro. Then this is my third night commentating in a row. I'm very pleased that I've made it this far then without losing my voice then. I'm not guaranteeing that it won't happen tonight. Then here comes Umadbro into sector 3. The first time on sector 2 is a 51.9 then for this session. Then can anybody use that as a banker time then to try and beat that, of course, in the latter part of this sector, then latter part of this session, I should say, then we would expect sometimes to be tumbling in, and Umabro can even find time as well then on his next laps, I should say. But into the final corner then for the first time as we cross the line for Umabro, then it's going to be a 14-0 to set ourselves underway here in qualifying, then a setting of sights as well then in qualifying for Umadbro there. Good stuff indeed. Stars then starting off on a lap, then he's in the very centre of the track then heading down the main straight, but we'll come back to him then. Where is Marvsky then? Marvsky about to cross the line then for P1 then with a 13.7 and a 2 and a bit, half a tenth, 3 tenths, goodness me, sorry, ahead of Umabro's time for now, that is, but we'll wait and see then how it's going to unfold. Then Winnie is looking to try and beat that as well then as he comes around that final corner then for the Ferrari outfit. Then up to the line, it's a 13.2 from the Ferrari then. Fantastic form indeed, and looking very strong there as well then for the Ferrari team as well. We've got an Aston Martin out on circuit, and where is he? It's Reflection, and Reflection's at a 12.7 then to put himself on pole position. Of course, last week's race winner is looking to carry on that form for sure, isn't it? Well, isn't he, I should say. Looking very strong indeed then so far in qualifying. Of course, we've only had 6 times on the board, but the Reflection sending a statement then at the very beginning of the session here as well. Then fantastic stuff indeed. Rosa Sky then up into P3 with a 13.3 as well. Then good stuff indeed from Rosa Sky, looking to bounce back. Real Ashton's on a 13.5, puts himself P4 in the Red Bull then. Good stuff indeed. And very well done indeed. Then Real Ashton then is picking up form then, of course, after last season. Then had a bit of a difficult season. The Styles jumped up to P2 with a 13-0. We had a bit of a difficult season to Real Ashton then, but this season he started off with points then in Australia then, and he's carried on the form as well then, and looking good indeed then, now that he's in that back in that Red Bull, I should say. Then Dynamo Dan, championship leader, then is P4 with a 13-2. Then he is only 2 thousandths away then from that P3 position, and not too far away then for winning then for Dynamo Dan, I should say, then to get himself into those podium places. Then yellow flags. Then there's a problem then for a McLaren. It's a Winnie's retired. What's happened to a McLaren? There's a Chlorine Pilot's had an issue then, and Winnie's retired from the session. Then what's happened in the pit entry? Then it seems like somebody's gone wrong there, as it's been cleared away then. But Chlorine Pilot has crashed in the pit entry, and Winnie, I think, has followed him through into the pit as well then, and crashed into the back of him there as well, it seems, from what we saw on the track map. But obviously those little dots then can be deceiving. But there we go then, as that's a very big shame then for Winnie then, because he was looking pretty good in qualifying on the first outing here. Then Marsky then is looking to improve on a 13-7, not a 17-3, a 13-7 there. Good stuff indeed. Hungry Styles coming back into the pits as well then. So I'm not quite sure what happened there in the pit entry then, but there is a bit of a wall there that sticks out on the left-hand side as you come into the pits. You need to be very careful of that. But there we go then. Dynamo Dan then is coming back into the pits as well. Then same for Smithy Almighty then, who's jumped up to P3. Sorry, P5. Winnie is P3 then, but of course Winnie is not going to be able to... what is going on with that Haas as well then? My goodness me, is the Haas having a few issues out there as well? It seems. I'm not quite sure. It's Vintage then. Vintage is having a bit of a problem there, I think. Just trying to get out of the way then of cars coming through as well there, but San is going to be the next man to come through, and he is going into sector 2 now, 22-0 then for the first sector complete. Then purple in the first sector as well. Then this could be pretty good stuff indeed for San then, if he can keep it all together then. I'm not quite sure what's happening ahead of him though. There's an Alpine, there's a Vintage as well then, as we go, as Vintage is on the gravel, I think there. Yes, he is. He's out of the way, but I'm not quite sure what's happening then for Vintage, and hopefully it's all okay then. But we crack on now. Here comes San then heading in towards sector 3, then up to sector 3 now. We go 51.5 then for sector 2, and purple again then in sector 2 as well. They're looking very impressive then for San then in the McLaren tonight. Then can he repeat the McLaren form and try and get himself onto the front row, or even further then, even better then for pole position here, then his first pole position of his career that would be. Let's see what it's going to be then, rounding that final corner then for San, then up to the line, then going a bit wide there, but now up to the line it's P5 with a 13.3 for the McLaren driver. Then good stuff indeed. And Vintage is back in the pit lane, so I think there was technical gremlins there for Vintage on his lap there that's cost him, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get that sorted for the next part of qualifying. Then 10 minutes to go then in this session so far. Chlorine Pilot caused the pile up in the pit lane, says ALR Esports then. Goodness me. Yo says yo everyone, sorry, says Slayer as well then. Slayer then is got in the session very early indeed, I have to say. Then he got himself in at about quarter past then, instead of the usual 25 past, which is fantastic. Makes it easier then for us to start a bit earlier as well. Then Dukanko on track. Then Dukanko needs to turn a bit of form around. Then Rocket Lee then is going to be rocketing around. Then I'm pretty sure Rocket Lee is going to be a candidate for pole position. Then we'll have to wait and see. We'll come back to him then as Mr. Elite is further along the lap. Then there's a few cars getting out of the way there, and hopefully they have got out of the way there as well. The good stuff indeed. And now Mr. Elite then powering up the hill then through turn 9, then a bit over the curve then on the entry point there, but now onto the back straight and heading in towards sector 3 as well. Then flying through then 51.3 in sector 2 then is looking pretty competitive as it stands as well. Then here comes the Alpine machine. Let's see what he's going to do then. Where is Mushroom? Mushroom's on a 13.3 then. Can Mr. Elite beat his teammate then, or Mushroom reign supreme then for the Alpine outfit then in Spain? We'll find out as we get ourselves across the line now. For Mr. Elite then it's going to be P5 with a 13.2, so only a tenth away from his teammate, or ahead of his teammate I should say. But there we go then. Good stuff indeed. San then into the pits then. Mr. Elite up into P5. Very good stuff indeed as well. Then here comes, we've got to go back to the other Aston Martin because it's Rocket Lee, and Rocket Lee is flying. Then Rocket Lee up to the line. It's a 13.2, sorry. So he's not on pole position that we were thought it was going to be, but he is still up there in the mix as well then for the grid as it stands. Of course, there's still 9 minutes to go in qualifying, so there's plenty of time for Rocket League to try and improve and get himself back on pole position where we're accustomed to seeing him, of course, but maybe going for a more stable setup then for the race as well. Then we'll find out then in just a jiffy. Then we'll find out in about 9 minutes time when the race starts, but we'll get there. But we've got to get through qualifying, of course, first as well. Then Styles back out on circuit then for the Racing Bulls. Then can he find a few tenths of a second, or it's about 2.5 tenths or so then to get himself on pole position. Then another pole position this season will be very grateful then for Styles, I'm sure. We'll have to wait and see then if that's going to be the case, but he's gone purple in sector 1. That's looking promising stuff indeed then for the first sector. Then 2 more sectors to go, of course. Dynamo Dan follows him through as well. Then Rocket Lee coming back into the pit lane as well here. Mr. Elite is back in the pits as well, making sure to avoid the pit entry. Then Real Ashton then heading down the hill then to finish off another lap though. He's coming back into the pits then for the Red Bull team. And oh dear, very skating very close to the wall there as well. Then Hello Housley in P14, a 13.6 for the time being, and he's back out on circuit as well then. Jake the Slayer then is down to P16 as DeCanco, as Real Ashton's retired in the pit lane. DeCanco then up into P15, then Jake the Slayer then is not on a lap, I don't think. He's done a lap of a 13.8 for the time being, but he is coming back to the pits as well then, I think there. So that is that then. Dynamo Dan has jumped up to P2. Hungry Styles is displaced in though, but the 12.8 then, so it's getting very close at the top then, as Hungry Styles then up into P2, back up into P2 I should say, then displacing Dynamo Dan, who did improve to that P2 position momentarily there, but Styles back up onto the front row of the grid then with a 12.8, and that is, trying to do the maths here, I think that's 6,600ths of a second away from pole position then, with Reflection then on a 12.7. Very close indeed. As we go through then the last few minutes of qualifying, I should say, then Rosa Sky then is back out on that. Then he's down to P10 with a 13.3. It's very close then in qualifying here, it looks like, from all the way from the top of the order then down to Serious Mushroom. Rosa Sky then it's only half a second there, which is very close indeed. Then Bronze has been absolutely fantastic for qualifying and for racing, to be fair as well, so far this season. Hopefully it continues. I might have commentator cursed him out, to be fair, but they are looking good here in Spain for qualifying then. Is it going to be, we don't know what the session's going to be like then for the race itself then, weather-wise. We'll find out then, but it looks nice and sunny out there for the time being. Then Rosa Sky has found 3.5 tenths of a second, and that will put him into the range then of the second row of the grid then as it stands, and he could find even more time then going through sector 3 here as well then. Rosa Sky looks to be back on form then tonight. It's looking fantastic for the Kick Sauber team then as we go through then into that final corner then for Rosa Sky. Then what's it going to be on the timing board then? It's Rosa Sky, it's P4 with a 13.0 then, and gets himself onto that second row as well then. Brilliant stuff indeed. And a bit of calm now. Oh, finally. So there we go then. Umabra then is also on track then for the Kick Sauber team, then heading into sector 2. Then he is improving, I think that was, into that first sector as well. Then we'll come back to that then as Vintage starts off another lap. Then hopefully Vintage has sorted out those gremlins now and can crack on in qualifying. Then Stephen Anthony then in P16 then with a 13.8. Then he's back out on another lap as well here for the Williams team. Then Serious Mushroom's back out on track as well. And let's see what Mushroom can do then on his second attempt here in qualifying. Then we've had, I think, San jump up the order. Then San jumps up to P7 with a 13.2. Can Mushroom find a tenth or two of a second? Then we'll put him much higher up the elevation than in this qualifying order. Then here he comes in. It's a 13.0. Then puts himself P5. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then from Mushroom, and what a qualifying that was for the Mushroom as well. Then the Rocket is back on track as well now and chasing him in towards turn 1. So be careful. Here comes Umabro. Then Umabro jumps up to P13. Then for the Kick Sauber team, sorry, a 13.5 puts himself into the mix as well there. Into the points paying positions, of course, because the points paying positions are down to 15th now for Bronze. Well, they have been for the last two, well, this season and the last season as well, then, to be fair. And Mr. Elite back out on track as well. Then can he improve on that 13.2 as well? We'll find out. Rocket Lee then is on circuit as well, looking to improve, or is he looking to improve? He's not using much ERS there. He did go purple there in the first sector. Then he is now using ERS, so maybe just knocked it into the none category then for a few seconds there. But I don't know if it's going to cost him any time at all. Then we'll find out then as we round the top of the hill and into sector 3 in just a jiffy. What's it going to be then for Rocket Lee? A 6/10 of a second. Then he is flying then in sector 2. Can he keep it all together? Then that 6/10 of a second would put him on pole position if he can just keep it steady then in sector 3. Then let's see what the Rocket can do. Then he is rocketing around this Spanish Grand Prix, and let's see what the timing sheets are going to say then as he crosses the line then in just a moment's time. Then Rocket Lee is on pole position. position then with a 12.8 here in Spain. Fantastic then from Rocket Lee. And once again, it's an all Aston Martin as there is Reflection as well coming out of the pit lane. It's an all Aston Martin front row lockout for the time being, that is. But looking brilliant stuff indeed then from Rocket Lee. Then that's, what is that, 2.5 tenths ahead of his teammate then. His next closest rival then here in qualifying. Then Rocket Lee is on rocket form tonight then. Brilliant stuff indeed to see. Well done indeed to both the Aston Martins so far. Then Vintage has improved to P12 then with a 13.4. Then that's great stuff indeed from Vintage then after a bit of a troubled first outing then it looked like. He will have time, I think, just about to get himself back in the pits and back out again then for one more attempt then if he wishes to, that is. Housie then is on circuit as well, then heading through Sector 3. Then this might be the final lap then for Housie then to try and improve. Let's see what Housie can do then in that Mercedes and rounding the final couple of corners as we go down the hill and see what that timing screen is going to say then as he crosses the start-finish line for the final time, I think, for qualifying then for Housie's case, that is. And here he comes then. He goes up to P9 with a 13.2. Much improved then as well then on that lap as well then. But like I said, I don't think he's got enough time to get himself back in the box then and go for another attempt then. So a P9 might be the best that Housie can be hoping for then in this qualifying session. Then into the pits comes Rocket Lee. Then he is into the box now. And that is him done then in qualifying, I believe, as well, potentially, unless he can get that hustle that Mercedes out there. Sirius Mushroom is retired in the pits. Then he has done a 13.0. That's P6 at best then for Sirius Mushroom. Then not Rocket Lee, Hungry Styles is heading through into Sector 3. Then he has found a few thousandths of a second then, and that could put him within range then of P2 with Reflection. Then he's also back out on track. Then his Reflection he's found 2.5 tenths then in the first sector. Then Vintage is retired in the pit lane. I didn't think he had enough time to get himself back out then, but he's going to be P13 at best here. Then Stephen Anthony's also retired. He's P15 then for the Williams driver. Then Hungry Styles improves to P2 with a 12.7. Then he's only a few thousandths away then from Reflection. Then a Reflection is on lap as well now. Not Jake the Slayer. Then Hungry Styles trying to get out of the way of his teammate Jake the Slayer, that is, as he heads into turn 1 now for the Racing Bull team as well then. Good stuff indeed then. So unfortunately for Chlorine Pilot then having a few issues in the pit entry then has cost him then, because he's now not been able to set a time in qualifying. Then he's going to be P20 to start this race. Then Winnie was also caught up with this, down to P7 now is Winnie. Here comes Reflection. Then can Reflection steal back that P2? Can he steal that pole position from his teammate Rocket Lee? Then Rocket Lee, as Reflection crosses the line, he has not improved. Not quite sure what happened there, because he was gaining quite a lot of time then in the first sector there. So that's strange indeed. Smithy up into P5 with a 12.9, then puts himself onto the third row of the grid for now. We'll wait and see then as the time is tumble in, I should say. What's going to happen there then? San, what's that then? San was very close. There was Marvsky then, wasn't it? Then Marvsky there was, almost, I don't know if he was blocked then by San. That could be a bit of a problem then in the steward's room after the race then. But Marvsky then might not be too happy with that McLaren then. He is improving, to be fair, so that's not too bad. But there might have been a bit of a distraction then in Sector 2 then for the Mercedes driver then heading through into turn 6 and 7 there. But he has cracked on nonetheless then, and now down the hill then to finish off qualifying for Marvsky. Then what's it going to be then for the Mercedes driver then as we round that final corner then up to the line for Marvsky? It is going to be P8 then. He gets himself into the top 8, I should say, with the 13.1. Good stuff indeed. Then Sam then is starting off a lap now. And we'll have to hope that Marvsky doesn't repay the favour if there was anything going on there. Mr. Elite started the lap as well, then heading down the main straight. Then both the Aston Martins, then Reflection back in the pit lane. Rocket Lee has just got to the line in time then to start off a lap as well. Then Smithy is back in the pit lane. In the background, goodness me, more yellow flags in the pit entry. That's not good news, but I think they're all right, as I think that was Reflection just retiring then on the in the pit entry. Then Rocket Lee, then that back end stepping out. Goodness me, it's all over the place then for Rocket Lee. He's had a spin, then he's got himself back underway quickly enough, but unfortunately not sure that's going to be a competitive time on the boards then, but he's still on pole position nonetheless then by 2.5 tenths of a second then, unless Dynamo Dan can have something to say about that. Then here he comes then up to the line then for the championship leader. Then he improves, but not enough then to stay P4. Marvsky then P8 coming back into the pit lane. San is on a flying lap then. Can San find some time then to displace Winnie, Marvsky, Sirius Mushroom, Rosa Sky or more as well then, as we head down the hill then for the McLaren? Then let's see what it's going to be then to end off qualifying here. Then into the final corner we go then for San, then up to the line. Then he's gone very, very wide there. I'm not quite sure what the line is there for San, but he has got himself up into P8 nonetheless. Then Mr. Elite up into P9 with a 13.1 as well. Then gets himself into the top 10 as well here then. Good stuff indeed. I think think that's qualifying done and dusted, to be fair. Yes, it is then. I think Jake the Slayer had an issue somewhere because he was on a 13.8 before, so hopefully it was just an issue that he has now going to have sorted then for the race itself. But we have got ourselves our qualifying order then, and Rocket Lee is on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix then. Fantastic stuff indeed from Rocket Lee. Another pole position to his bow then in the Aston Martin outfit as well then. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then Rocket Lee takes pole position here in Spain then, and looking very good indeed then in the qualifying outing as well. JVDA has said go Hungry Styles then in the comment section as well then, so Racing Rules getting a bit of support then from JVDA as well then. The fastest Vietnamese driver in bronze of all time we cheer on, says XYZ. I'm thinking he means a certain mushroom there, but there we are then. That is the classification then for qualifying then. A fantastic lap from Rocket League, 2/10 away from this next rival of Hungry Styles in P2. Reflection, his teammate then in P3. Dynamo Dan, championship leader in P4. Smith the Almighty, championship contender in P5, as is Rosa Sky in P6 to be fair. Mushroom in P7 as well then. Good stuff indeed from Mushroom as well. San in P8, Mr. Elite in P9, then Marsky P10, Winnie P11, Housie P12, Vintage P13, Real Ashton in P14, Stephen Anthony P15, Mabro in P16, Liam P17, DeCanco in P18, Jake the Slayer P19, and unfortunately for Chlorine Pilot, he is at the back of the field, but did have a bit of a crash then in the pit entry, didn't he? So which also caused Winnie's problems as well then. But there we are then. Heading into the race itself then, we'll get the lovely word from our lovely sponsors in just a jiffy then, as the drivers get their strategy sorted and get ourselves ready for the race. Right then, here we go. Formation lap is underway now, and we've got the top 10 opting for the medium compound tyres then, which is probably the I think the standard start that we've seen across the three divisions as well, then including silver and gold. But Rocket Lee then is starting from the medium compound tyres, as is everyone down to Marsky and P10 for the Mercedes team as well. And so everybody in the top 10 looking for a well, not a reasonable start, but a guaranteed start, let's just say that then, a confirmed and a reliable start to this race then in terms of the tyre wear and tyre life then. Winnie opting for the hard compound tyres. He's just outside the top 10 in P11 then is Winnie, and looking for a longer first stint then on those hard compounds then. Real Ashton has opted for the soft compound tyres, so that's an interesting call then from the Red Bull team. Not quite sure if that's going to work out. We did see, I think, Sam Swift then opting for the soft compound tyres, had to do a two-stop then in the gold race, didn't he? But we'll wait and see then which strategy is going to unfold the best then in this Grand Prix. Nice and sunny here in Spain as well, I have to add then, so hopefully there's no rain on the forecast. Stephen Anthony then hard compound tyres for the Williams team then, starting down in P15 then for Williams. And Jake the Slayer also opting for the hard compound tyres then to start off the Grand Prix from P19. So only 3 hard runners then, 1 soft runner then, which is quite an outstanding call then indeed from Real Ashton, and hopefully we'll see it pay off then for the Red Bull driver as well then. Everybody else opting for the medium compound then to start off this Grand Prix as we head down the hill then to finish off the formation lap and get started then with 33 laps of racing action here in Spain. provided they all park up correctly, that is. But yes, we'll get there. Rocket League then takes P1 then on the grid then to get ourselves started for this Grand Prix. Then here we are in Spain, ready to get racing then in just a jiffy, hopefully. But Chlorine Pilot's having a few issues as well there out there, it seems. Once again then having more issues then for Chlorine Pilot, then goodness me. But fingers crossed he can get himself onto the grid at some point today. Then we can get ourselves started then for this Spanish Grand Prix in just a jiffy. As everyone then now parked up on the grid, then we will get the lights on, I hope. Here they come then. The 5 red lights are coming on here in Spain. The 5 red lights are on. The 5 red lights are out then, and away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. A good start indeed from the top of the order. Reflection with a fantastic start indeed as we go through then in towards turn 1. He's taken the lead of the Grand Prix then down towards turn 1. Then Rocket League then has lost out to his teammate. Has he, or is he going to dive down the inside? He locks up then. That front right then going to be a bit worn then into the first corner. Then everyone's got themselves through, I think, unscathed. Then I think just about then as Rocket League then has lost the lead to his teammate, and now under pressure from Styles as well, going through turn 3 in towards turn 4. Then they've kept status quo then, those two. Oh my goodness me, Rocket League been put under pressure a lot then into the first corner, then into turn 4 then from Styles, and Rocket League losing out then to his team. But then there's problems in the background for San's had an issue then as we go through then into turn 5. Then they're side by side then with Liam and Housie. There's contact there. There's what's happened there. Goodness me, Vintage and Real Ashton have gone off the circuit there, and they're back on then and back underway. Is there damage though for these two as well? Then there is nothing there for Real Ashton then, but I think Vintage might have had some front wing then come off. Yeah, the right end plate's missing then for Vintage, unfortunately, which is a big shame indeed. Not sure what happened there then. It seemed to be out of turn 5 then that Real Ashton and Mushroom and Mr. Elite are battling as well. Then goodness me, the Alpines then having a bit of a ding-dong battle as well on the first lap then. Calm it down, lads, as we go through then into lap 2 now. As yeah, the Vintage, I think, and Real Ashton have had an issue there somewhere at the exit of turn 5. Reflection has taken the lead with a fantastic start then. Hungry Styles has lost out then to Smithy Almighty, who is now up into the top 3. And Smithy Almighty then on a charge as well, trying to keep up with those two Aston Martins that you can see there in the foreground. There they go through turn 2 and turn 3 now, and Reflection then holding the lead then over his teammate. Well, that start was electric from Reflection. He got himself up past Styles and past Rocket League then into the top of the order then. DeCanco and Stephen Anthony having a bit of a battle as well. Then Stephen Anthony then down to back into P15 I should say. Then Chlorine Pilot and San then switching places. Then San's had a difficult start as well then, and dropping down to P17 then. I'm not quite sure what happened to San. It seemed to be at turn 4 as well then, and then everything else got mixed up into the background then. And what is Chlorine Pilot trying to do then? Trying to get himself down the inside there when there's nowhere to go down the inside there. And my goodness me, there we go, we get ourselves through and up into sector 2 now on the second lap of the Grand Prix. Then they've got quite a few laps to go. Then they're down the background. Then Sans had an issue then going over the curbs, and Winnie and Umabro are battling. Then Umabro then has lost out to the Ferrari just about then. I think there's some DRS now available, of course, then to get yourself past, but it's going to be quite tight indeed then with the rest of the field pretty much still within DRS. Vintage then is cracking on then with that damage as well. Then he seems to be able to try to cope then with that damage as well here for the time being. That is then Smithy and Whitey sets the fastest lap heading on to lap 3, and here comes Rocket League to try and retake the lead from his teammate. Then he goes down the inside once again, locking up that front right though, but he's got himself through then and up into the race lead, of course, then from where he started on the grid. Then now can he try and charge on and create a gap then to his teammate, and the rest of the field we'll find out shortly. Brilliant start then, hectic start I have to say then from Bronze, but there we go then as we go through then into the rest of the order. Then Rosa Sky has got himself ahead of his championship challenger and the championship leader then Dynamo Dan, who's on the medium compound tyres. Then he's lost 2 places off that start. Then same for Styles as well. Then they've had difficult starts. Then have the 2 championship challengers I should say. Rosa Sky though looking to gain some places as well then off the start. Same for Smithy Almighty, who's in P3 in the drivers championship. Then he's looking to try and get more as well then as we head in towards sector 3 then for the 3rd time. Then there's still 30 laps to go at the end of this one, guys, so it doesn't have to all be done in the first couple of laps in, but I'm already losing my voice as we go through lap 3 as well now. So fantastic stuff indeed. If I just start sounding like a rasping horse at the end of this race, I'm not quite sure what that is, but there we go. You will know why, but we will see what the rest of the race does unfold, how it unfolds I should say. Rocket League sets the fastest lap of the race. He is storming off in the distance, but that ELRS light flashing away is going to be tempting for Reflection to try and make a move in towards turn 1. Will he go for it? Not quite. and Rocket Lee then locking up again. Then unfortunately that is going to be very bad indeed for that right-hand side tyre wear then, although around here the left-hand side really wears the most, doesn't it? Because of course most of the fast-paced corners are long right-handers, aren't they? The likes of turn 4 then here, the likes of turn 3, the likes of turn 9 at the top of the hill then going over the crest into sector 2. So it's not too bad, I suppose, locking up the front right into turn 1, that is. But there we go then. Reflection then is keeping Rocket Lee honest as well. Then Smithy Almighty and Hungry Stars staying with them as well. Then heading through sector 2 here. Then everyone seems to be filtering through quite nicely. Then Mr. Elite has lost out to the DRS from his teammate, which is going to be costly indeed. Then as we head through sector 2 now, then Mr. Elite needs to get himself in that 1 second window, I should say. I can't get my words out already then, and we're on lap 4. But there we go as we head through then into sector 3. Then Smithy Almighty and Reflection have switched places, and Smithy Almighty has now taken P2. He's on a charge then is Smithy. Then he's got himself still within the DRS then of the race leader. He's gained 3 places in the opening 4 laps. Then fantastic stuff from Smithy. Then he is flying out there for Ferrari then, and still within that DRS window then from Rocket Lee then, which is going to be good news indeed to try and defend now from Reflection as we head in towards turn 1, but he has kept the position then into that braking zone. Reflection then down to P3 then where he started, and after that electric start then he's lost out unfortunately to his teammate then and to Smithy now as well. Then Hungry Stars then is waiting in the wings then looking to make a move then for that podium place. Then his Reflection already struggling on his tyres. Then we'll have to look and see as we go through. Then Vintage is in the pit lane, and unfortunately for Vintage that damage on the first lap then is not going to be wasn't going to be helping him unfortunately then in this race. He is into the box now for a new front wing then, and there we go then. He's got that fitted now. Fantastic sponsors for the house team. I'm not sure who any of them are, but there we go then as we head through then into lap 5. But hopefully Vintage can get himself back in this race then on the hard compound tyres. Now the fresh tyres for the Haas team as well here then. Into sector 3 we go for the race leaders. They're filtering through then. Rocket Lee locking up the left front this time then. Goodness me, there's a lot of ABS locking going on then for Rocket Lee then, and hopefully that's not struggles that he's going to start to face then later on in the race as well, then in the stint that is. Depending on what the stints are going to be then, of course we don't know what the strategy is going to be there for Bronze then. Are they going to go for a 2-stop then or a 1-stop around here? We will have to find out, but Rocket Lee is maintaining the lead, maintaining that gap then throughout the laps as well then to Smithy Almighty then and to Reflection as well then. They're filtering through everyone in the top 7 within DRS of each other as we go through. Goodness me, Mushrooms trying to go off the grass there, and had to make an evasive action then. Winnie trying to get himself past Mr. Elite, and he has done up into P8 now on the hard compound tyres. The highest runner then on those hard compounds to start this Grand Prix as well then. So Winnie then is looking to get himself back in the mix then in the latter part of the race, you would imagine. Then Umabra then did a good job in P10 and keeping Mr. Elite and Winnie honest as well then for the Kit Sauber team. Then masking Liam and Hello Housey as well then following them through, as is Dekanko and San, who's caught up now and got himself back underway then after that escapade on the opening lap as well here. But he's got himself all sorted then. Stephen Antion's on the hard compound tyres as well then is within the train then with Winnie, to be fair. So both of them on the hard compound tyres then looking to go long then in this first stint. Then we'll see how that plays out then throughout the Grand Prix. We had someone go wide there. I think it was Liam. Then he's got himself back underway and composed, and into sector 3 we go. Great stuff indeed. I'm not quite sure where to look, to be fair, because there's battles all over the field, isn't there? As we head down into the end of lap 6, then on to lap 7 now. Rocket Lee still holds the Grand Prix lead, but that gap has come down now for Smithy. Then he is gaining on the Aston Martin, and that Aston Martin harvesting energy is going to be enticing then for this Ferrari to try and go for a move. Then not quite into turn 1. He's a bit too far back though as he goes into turn 2 now then. But Smithy Almighty then is showing some pretty good pace here tonight to put the pressure on the Rocket then, who is absolutely flying. He's gone wide then, a bit of the dirty air kicking him off the circuit slightly there for Smithy. We'll have to wait and see then after the race if that's going to be a warning then. If anybody gets 3 warnings or more, then they start to get penalties rolling in as well. Then will be added onto their race time at the end of the Grand Prix. But there we are as we head through then into sector 2 once again then on lap 7. Then we've stormed through the first 7 laps, haven't we? Mr. Elite's picked up the first penalty of the evening, but we have seen quite a few penalties in the previous iterations of this Grand Prix with gold and silver. We have seen quite a few penalties, of course, like I said, so we might see a few more then racking up then throughout this Grand Prix as we head on to lap 7. Then we've still got lots of laps to go. I can't do the maths exactly on what we have got to go, but there we go. Then Smithy Almighty is pushing for the race lead then here into sector 3. and he has gone through then, passing Rocket Lee then into the final couple of corners then, and Rocket Lee might have done that a bit tactically then, I would have to say, because he's going to have some DRS to play with now onto this main straight then. And is that a genius move from Rocket Lee then? I think it is then, because he's going to have the DRS, then he's going to repass then for the lead of the Grand Prix and head into turn 1, back in the race lead. And here comes Styles then down the inside of Reflection. Not quite then for Styles, but he's all over the back of that Aston Martin as we head into lap 8 now. Fantastic racing, to be fair, in all of the order, I should say. Then Winnie then is now 2.9 seconds behind the top 7 then, but of course on those hard compound tyres we'll be looking to bring that gap down then throughout the laps. Then from now on I think the hard compound tyre will be the better tyre potentially, so we'll see that gap, I would imagine, come back down then in Winnie's favour, that is, as we head into the latter part of this stint. Then for those on the medium compound tyres, then Stephen Anthony will be doing the same, as will Jake the Slayer, I would imagine, and Vintage of course is now on the freshest tyres of the field and will be looking to get himself back in contention as well here then after that wing change. Over the crest of the hill then into sector 2 we go then, and the race leaders are status quo for now. Then they're not close enough to make any moves then into this hairpin here, but Smithy Almighty then is actually a bit further back than he was on the previous lap, wasn't he now? So maybe biding his time then, maybe he doesn't want to get himself past Rocket Lee at this point of the circuit where he did last lap, because he knows that he's going to get re-overtaken then if he goes for it too early then, as we head now into lap 9 momentarily. Some brilliant stuff going on as Rosa Sky is in the pit lane very early on then for Rosa Sky. Then lap 9 has started, then Rosa Sky is calling it a day on those medium compound tyres. He will have a bit of clear air, I think, then as we go through then into the rest of the lap then, because there's quite a bit of cars that are coming through then, but they're all going to be well, they're all quite closely matched then, aren't they? Closely compacted, I should say. Then medium compound tyres going on for Rosa Sky. Then he will be out behind Mr. Real Ashton, I think that is then, as he comes out of the pit lane now. There is Real Ashton then on his soft compound tyres. He is soldiering on those soft compound tyres, to be fair, so that's going to be a fantastic stint indeed, getting him that far as well. Then Liam and DeCanco are having a ding-dong battle as well then into turn 4. DeCanco then is down to P13, Liam into P12 for now. And they've lost out the DRS then from Houser, and Houser trying to get himself into the top 10 with his teammate then just trailing then in those final top 10 positions there. But he's got the DRS now on New Mapper then as they head through into sector 2. It's all action then in bronze then in this first stint, and it's absolutely fantastic racing, to be fair. Then we've seen some brilliant races from bronze in the first 6 rounds of the season. It's got even better here tonight then, as there's we don't know where to look, do we, to be fair, as we head down the hill. Then is there going to be any more pit stoppers then in this race, in this stint I should say? Then nobody else in the top 10 filtering in just yet then, or is there? No, there isn't. Housing then is also staying out as well. Then he's got himself in the DRS now with his teammate then Liam, going to be under pressure from DeCanco then heading in towards turn 4 then, as Styles and Styles got a penalty then. Mushroom and Dynamo Dan and having a bit of a battle as well, then going through turn 3. Not quite then for Mushroom. He has to stay behind the Williams for now. And Mr. Elite, I think, has been or has lost out to Winnie. I think Winnie's gone himself out to P7 now, and Winnie then, like I said, has brought that gap down. Then Real Ashton's in the pit lane, calling it down those soft compound tyres, so he's stretched them to 10 laps now almost for the Red Bull team. That's a pretty good stint indeed. Then medium compound tyres going on. Then Rosa Sky has taken that P18 position now as well. Then of course he's now on the fresh tyres as well, and he's only 8 seconds off the queue then from Jake the Slayer then as well. Then as we go through then into lap 10, then lap 10 of 33, they're almost at the third way distance, and the first sector of the Grand Prix has almost been completed. Then here comes Mushroom, then he's on a charge, not quite then into turn 10, but he's still all over the back of Dynamo Dan, who's starting to struggle on those medium compound tyres massively then compared to the rest of the field. Then the gap then is over 2 seconds almost then to the top 4, and Smithy is back in, stepping up then into the penultimate corner. Then Chlorine Pilot picks up another 3-second penalty. That's the third penalty of the evening so far. And I think he just got past, has he just got past, he might have just got past Stephen Anthony there, but unfortunately that penalty has been costly. Then Umabro in the pit lane, same for Mr. Elite as well, but they're calling it now then on the medium compound tyres. It is done and dusted for the mediums then, onto a new set of boots. Then is it going to be more mediums, or it's going to be softs from Mr. Elite? Blimey, that's going to be a very fast stint then for Mr. Elite in the middle stint there. DeCanco's off the circuit there somewhere. He's gone off then at turn 2, and he's lost out to both the McLarens then, who were starting to fight then, and Chlorine Pilot's gone into the back of his teammate, and DeCanco's been collected as well. Then is that going to be a safety car? That's a massive crash indeed, as they get themselves back underway then. But what has happened there? And Sand lost the car, didn't he? Then Sand lost the car. He's got himself back underway pretty quickly indeed, to be fair. And Sand then, as Chlorine Pilot's gone off the circuit again then with that damage as well. Then I think Decanco's also got damage there as well for the Red Bull as they go through then into Sector 2. Then, yeah, there is big damage there for Red Bull as well. Then, unfortunately, they're not too bad timing in terms of pit stops then because they can't get themselves onto the hard compound tyres and crack on with this race then. But unfortunately, Sand losing the vehicle there at the exit of Turn 4 or into Turn 3. Sorry, exit of Turn 3, wasn't it there? So as they go through then into the hairpin, then they're fighting tooth and nail then with the wing damage there. And unfortunately, it is all compromised there as well then as they go through Sector 3 as well here. Rosa Sky then is going to be catching up then very quickly indeed. I think these drivers need to jump into the pit lane to get that front wing sorted as quickly as possible now as well then as they go through. Then there they go into that pit box then, and they need to make sure they slow the car down as well. Then into the box they go then as we slow the cars down as well. Then Chlorine Pilot then and Decanco in the pits then to sort out that front wing then. Mr. Elite's got a penalty but he's up into P15 on those soft compound tyres. Can he get himself back in contention on those soft compound tyres? But I imagine he will have to make another pit stop. I'm pretty sure he will do. Decanco then into the box then for softs as well then. And new front wing, of course, back underway then, unfortunately for Decanco and Chlorine Pilot. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time there, weren't they? With Sand then having that spin at Turn 3. And that's been very costly indeed. Then Sand has somehow escaped unscathed, I think, there, to be fair. Unless he's got some sort of rear wing damage, potentially then. Oh, yeah, maybe that back end a bit flighty there, going through Turn 7 and 8. Now over Turn 9, then he's kept it under control. Then Liam's picked up a penalty as well. Then unfortunately penalties starting to roll in throughout the field there, not just for Liam but for everybody else as well, it seems, as we go through into lap 12 now. The top 4 are separate, or still separated, or still not separated, to be fair. They're still quite close in proximity. Then Mr. Mushroom, Serious Mushroom, is into the pit lane. And he will call it a day then on the medium compound tyres. Both Mercedes are staying out. Then Housy's got himself ahead of Marsky there. Marsky might have had some sort of issue because he's lost out massively to his teammate. Then, of course, priority in the pit stop goes to the race leader then, or the on-track race leader then between the two teams, or two drivers, I should say, of the same team. Jake the Slayer carries on as well, and he's on the hard compound tyres. Rosa Sky then is coming through into Turn 1. Then he's up into P12 now. Then that is gaining on every sector, on every corner. Then on those fresh medium compound tyres as well. Then Liam also in the pit lane for a new set of boots. Then hard compound tyres going on the Haas as well here. But very unfortunate indeed for Chlorine Pilot and Decanco then that, well, they had nowhere to go, did they? And unfortunately it was just wrong place at the wrong time for both of them in that Turn 3, which is a big shame indeed, because we would have liked to see them obviously carry on their races as they were. But Sand then lost the back end then into Turn 3, then that has compromised both his teammate and the Red Bull of Decanco as well then, which is a big shame indeed. As we head down to finish off lap 13, then Smithy Almighty then is closing in Reflection, then starting to drop off Reflection into the pit lane. That is why, as is Styles as well then. So these two going for a bit of an undercut then on the top 2. Dynamo Dan also carries on then in P3. Now Winnie also on the hard compound tyres is closing in then on Dynamo Dan in towards Turn 1, but I think he's a bit too far back to go for that move for the time being, that is. And Hello Housey then carries on as well, but so does Marsky then on the same strategy then as his Mercedes teammate. Stephen Anthony up to P7 now. Sand then, of course, is on the medium compound tyres and escaped any issues there. But now Rosa Sky up into P9 and 3 seconds. The gap to the top 8. Out of the pit lane they come. Then here comes Styles. Here comes Reflection then. And Mr. Elite on the soft compound tyres is going to get himself into the mix here as well, which is very interesting stuff to see. Stephen Anthony has passed. Marsky's off the circuit. That's why then. Where is Marsky? Marsky's off at Turn 4. And he's gone straight on at Turn 4 almost as well there. I think then he's got himself back out of the wall. Has he got a puncture there? That puncture then on the front left then. I think Marsky's got an issue then. He's going to try and get himself off the green stuff and onto the grey stuff there. But I think he's got a puncture then on lap 14 then. Those medium compound tyres have died then for Marsky, which is a big shame indeed. Then can he get himself back into the pit lane? The ghost car then, well, so Liam has gone through, I should say then, but yeah, unfortunately for Marsky, then what has happened then to that Mercedes? It is a problem indeed. And now the Racing Bull of Jake the Slayer has caught up to him as well. Then into the race, into the pits, I should say. Then goes Dynamo Dan, Rocket Lee, and Smithy then as well. Then all in the box as well here. But Marsky then is struggling out on that punctured tyre. Then they've got to get out of the way. Then can they get out of the way is the question. Then they fly through then up the hill. Decanco's gone through as well then Marsky then is trying to get himself back in the pit lane as quickly as possible then, but unfortunately it's just we've seen in real life, and that puncture can be very costly, and unfortunately for Marsky as well, it came at turn 4, which is a long way back at the lead of the lap. Then into the pit exit we go. There's a Ferrari there, goodness me, and that's Smithy Almighty. Then that's mighty close indeed. Then with Hungry Styles at turn 3, then they're very close indeed over the curb slightly then for Smithy then as we go through into turn 4 once again. Then my goodness me then, and Marsky then I feel for Marsky because he's soldiered on then in this race. He's got himself into the pit lane just about now for Marsky then, but it's a real shame indeed then for the Mercedes driver then get himself back in the box, and then of course can get himself onto a set of soft compound tyres and go for the fastest lap point as well here. But it's just a real unfortunate scene then for Marsky then as he gets himself back into the pit lane. So Winnie then, who leads the Grand Prix, is yet to pit then. The top 3 are yet to pit, to be fair, as Rosa Sky is the net race leader. Then he's 2 seconds ahead of Mr. Elite, sorry, of Rocket Lee. Smithy Almighty and Rocket Lee are switching places then into Sector 3. Then Smithy Almighty ahead of the Alpine. Hello Housey, sorry, is into the box then. He is calling it a day on his medium compound tyres. Will he get held up by Marsky slightly, as Marsky is still on the lead lap actually here. So he is, he's not technically on the lead lap because Winnie is ahead of him, but Winnie will have to pit, of course, then for a new set of boots. And then Hello Housey then for the hard compound tyres then out of the pit lane will be ahead of Liam, I think, just about then as he exits the pit lane in P12. Dynamo Dan then trying to pass Mr. Elite as well on those hard compound tyres. The soft compounds then struggling there for Mr. Elite already on the 5 laps that he's done then. And Umabro next to try and make his move then in towards turn 4. Is he going to go for it? Not quite there as we go through turn 4 on lap 16. My goodness me, we're not at the halfway point just yet then. It has been absolutely brilliant racing, to be fair, and really unfortunate for 3 drivers now, with Marsky, then Chlorine Pilot and Dekanka as well then all having their mishaps then, unfortunately, which is a big shame indeed because we wanted them to have their normal racing, of course, because it was very entertaining stuff indeed. Then Reflection, sorry, is right behind his teammate then of Rocket Lee. Then could it be another back-to-back Aston Martin 1-2 then here in Spain? Then we'll find out. Winnie is finally in the pit lane. He's calling it a day then on his hard compound tyres. Is that a bit early then for Winnie? We'll find out in the latter part of this race then, but he's going to switch it now from the hards to the medium compound tyres and back underway. Where will he come out then is the question. And Stephen Anthony leads the Grand Prix. Rosa Sky is closing in on his fresher tyres. Then Winnie then coming out of the pit lane will be in this gaggle, I think, then of cars then going through down the main straight. Then he's going to be behind Umabro then, but now on a fresher set of tyres by 6 laps compared to the Kick Sauber driver. Then that's going to be quite impressive stuff indeed. Mr. Elite is in the pit lane calling it a day then on his soft compound tyres. Then he has put on the hard compound tyres and now back underway as well here. Wow, as we get to the halfway point then, I've lost my breath, to be fair. Mr. Elite then out in P17, now on the freshest tyres of the field then, apart from Winnie's, to be fair. But he is soldiering on then as well. Then now Marsky then has been released and he's back on the lead lap now. So that is good news indeed for Marsky as well. And he can soldier on then in this race then and get himself back in the, if there's any untoward safety cars or VSCs, he can get himself back in contention as well then for Marsky, which is good stuff to see. Then Stephen Anthony leads the way then. Rocket Lee has caught up to Rosa Sky then on the hard compound tyres, so there's medium compounds already starting to struggle for Rosa Sky then, and Rocket Lee is now within DRS then of the Kick Sauber as we go down towards the final couple of corners. And Rosa Sky is into the pit lane as he's being caught up then by the Aston Martins, and he's now calling it a day then on his medium compound tyres. He's done medium so far in this race. Then can he get the hards to the end of the Grand Prix from here? And where will he get himself back in the order as well? And he's going to be behind Hello Housey, I think that is, as he comes into the box then to service that car, potentially behind Liam as well. Then we'll find out as he gets himself into that pit lane. And back underway now as well then, good stuff indeed. But where will he come out then? Will he be ahead then of the McLaren then of Chlorine Pilot then as we come out of the pit lane? He will be just ahead as we head out of that pit exit. And there is Rosa Sky then in towards turn 1, then the McLaren in the background then. So Rosa Sky rejoins in P14. Can he get himself further up the order then on those fresh hard compound tyres? Can those hard compound tyres go to the end of the Grand Prix as well? We'll find out in just a jiffy. Well, we won't find out in just a jiffy. We'll find out in about 15 laps or so then. So now Stephen Anthony then leading the race then has been caught up by the former race leader of Rocket Lee. And Stephen Anthony then trying to get those hard compound tyres into a better window then to go onto the medium compound tyres, I would expect, to finish off the race, then doing a one-stop strategy, that is. But Rocket Lee might have something to say about getting past him before the end of the straight then, as not Mr. Elite, sorry, Stephen Anthony is into the pit lane and calling it a day then on his hard compound tyres just as Rocket Lee catches up. Then he's got some DRS now down the main straight then to start off lap 19. Winnie sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on his medium compound tyres. Then Stephen Anthony then into the box. He's going to call it a day then on the hards, now going for a new set of boots. Then it's going to be mediums, I'm pretty sure. It's mediums then for the Williams driver then, and back underway then. Where will he come out then in respect to the group of cars coming through as well? Then it's going to be very close indeed. Then he comes out of the pit lane now, and there is Jake the Slayer. Then there is Rosa Sky as well. Then Rosa Sky is going to be steaming into turn one, but Stephen Anthony is ahead as we get themselves out of the pit lane now as well. Then of course Rosa Sky's got those hard compound tyres warmed up. Then Stephen Anthony then on the medium compound tyres won't take too much time to warm up as well. Then DeCanco's had an issue at turn 2, but it's back underway as well. Mr. Elite goes through to P16 for now, that is. But there we are then, as we got Mr. Stephen Anthony now catching up to Jake the Slayer. Then that's going to be good news indeed, because he doesn't want Rosa Sky all over his back for too long. Does the Williams driver then. He's got himself out in P13, then can gain a few more places then with those fresh tyres. Can they get to the end of the Grand Prix is the other question. Then Reflection is just about sticking with his teammate then as we go down the hill then to finish off lap 19, then into lap 20 we go. Then 14 laps to go here in Spain then for bronze then, and let's see, as Reflection is within DRS, I think, just about then of his teammate. Hungry Styles is waiting in the wings as well. Then Smithy Almighty is going to inherit a good result, even if it finished this way, because of course with penalties then for Styles and Reflection, he will get himself promoted up into P2 then in the championship then, which is not looking too shabby then for the time being. Mushroom then doing a great job then in P5 for the time being as well. Then he's 2 seconds off the top 4 for now. Then he's still, actually, to be fair, I'm not going to jinx it. I will not say what I was about to say, because I don't want to do anything to jinx anybody there. As Rosa Sky has passed Jake the Slayer then into turn 1, then Rosa Sky then up into P13. Stephen Anthony's gone through as well then earlier on in the lap, then up into P12. Then on those fresh medium compound tyres, he's going to be barnstormingly fast indeed. Is barnstormingly a word? Somebody will have to tell me or open the dictionary after this race then, to be fair. Stephen Anthony now trying to chase down Sam then, and then Liam is his next target to get himself into the top 10 then here. Housley then is on the hard compound tyres. He's in a bit of no man's land at the moment then, with 5 seconds either side then for Housley then, but he's doing a good job then in P9 for the time being. There might still be some stops to come then. You likes of you Mabro, I'm not sure if those medium compound tyres will get to the end of the race then for the Kick Sauber driver. Then we'll find out in a few laps time, or potentially even on this lap, but we'll see now. It is this lap then for Yumabro. Then he's calling it a day then. Medium compound tyres coming off the Kick Sauber then. A new set of boots going on that green machine, as we find out soon what it's going to be as well then for Yumabro then to end off this final stint then, as Housley then going up to P8. Then Liam is going to go up to P9 as well here. Then San is chasing him down, as is Stephen Anthony, who's now caught up then with the DRS. Stephen Anthony sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix with those fresh medium compound tyres as well then. Mabra going for the hard compound then to get to the end of the Grand Prix from here. He's going to come out then behind Mr. Elite just about then, but of course he's now on the freshest tyres of the field. Then DeCanco also in the pit lane to sort out that Red Bull. Then those soft compound tyres weren't going to make it then, unfortunately, then for DeCanco, and he's into the box then for medium compounds then to finish off the Grand Prix here. Marvsky is doing a grand job of soldiering on in this Grand Prix as well, to be fair. And Winnie has got himself past Dynamo Dan, has he? Yes, he has. Then up into P6 now for Winnie on those medium compound tyres. Yellow flags. What's happened? Yellow flags. Somebody's had an issue somewhere. Where is it? Who is it? Not quite sure, to be honest. I think everyone's just cracked on as they were, as Stephen Anthony's got himself past Liam there, but maybe it was Liam who might have had a bit of a squirrely moment, and he's lost out. Then he's down into P11 for the time being, but still soldiering on there, doing a good job then, still in the points paying positions then for Liam as well here, which is good stuff to see. Stephen Anthony now all over the back of San, heading through Sector 3. He doesn't want to do what Smithy did and go past here, because then he's going to relinquish DRS then to the McLaren, and he stays behind then into the final corner. Then now he needs to power along then and get himself past that orange car then as quickly as possible with the aid of some DRS then down the straight. A fantastic helicopter angle as we go through. Then the Williams then takes the place then up into P9 for Stephen Anthony here into turn 1 then on lap 22. So we've got 11 laps to go then at the end of this one. Then, more yellow flags then, goodness me, what's happened? It's a Williams then, it's Dynamo Dan at turn 4 then, goodness me, Dynamo Dan, the championship leader, then has had a spin then at turn 4. He's got himself back underway quickly enough then, but Housley is closed in now. But Dynamo Dan has had an issue there somewhere then on that final corner of Sector 1 then into Sector 2. and those tyres might be a bit scuffed then after that spin as well then. So goodness me, Real Ashton's also in the pit lane for the Red Bull team then for a new set of boots then. But there we go then. Goodness me, Housy's now is within DRS then of Dynamo Dan, then the championship leader then. So Housy's not looking too shabby now indeed, with some DRS to play with here as well. And here comes Winnie again then on the charge then round that final corner there with the top four in our foresight there, or in the background. I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about there, but to be fair, I never do. Then Reflection has taken the lead of the Grand Prix as we go into turn one. Then Reflection takes the lead from his teammate here into the first corner then on lap 23 with 10 laps to go at the end of this one. Then Winnie's past Serious Mushroom then for the time being. Mushroom then might be in with a good shout then if he just holds on to the DRS then of Winnie. When those medium compound tyres start to fade then for Winnie, then he can get himself back through into P5. We'll have to wait and see. But there we go then. Housey then is chasing down Dynamo Dan. Then he's stayed within that DRS range then after Dynamo Dan's mishap here at this corner before on the previous lap. Then Chlorine Pilot picks up a 3-second penalty. And then, like I said, penalties galore then for a lot of drivers out there as well. Then at this stage of the race then Stephen Anton's got 6 seconds to try and gain on Hello Housey and Dynamo Dan. And as they start to struggle then maybe if they start battling then that will bring the gap down then for the Williams driver as well. We'll find out. Jake the Slayer then. Will those tyres get to the end for Jake the Slayer? I'd have to say probably not then. Unfortunately, we saw Marvsky's tyres go at lap 14, wasn't it? So, 14 laps then on those medium compound tyres for Marvsky then, wasn't it? Smithy and Winnie have switched places then. So Ferrari team orders at play here potentially then. Winnie's gone through. And goodness me, then Smithy then cutting across Mushroom into the final corner. Then that's close indeed. Then Mushroom's going to try and go for the move. Then there's yellow flags up there for Williams. No, it's an Alpine of Mr. Elite, I think, at the top of the hill then into Sector 2. Here comes Mysterious Mushroom for P5, and he's got it. He has got it, although Smithy's fighting back then into turn 2, but Mushroom holds on to that P5 position as well. Then brilliant stuff indeed. Great battling there as well for the Mushroom and for the Smithy Almighty, I have to say. But good stuff indeed. Then lap 24 then has started as well here. Then Housey is still chasing after Dynamo down there as well. Then Stephen Anthony then still 6 seconds behind. Maybe those medium compound tyres starting to fade away slightly at this point of the race, so we'll have to wait and see. Jake the Slayer then is lost out as well then to Chlorine Pilot as well, and Chlorine Pilot up into P13, but that penalty then was costly indeed as well. Then Umabro now on the fight for the final points paying position, then could get himself back in the points then with his fresh hard compound tyres, and Vintage then back underway with Decanco then chasing him down as well then it looks like, and Real Ashton trying to get himself back in the fight. Then Marsky then a fantastic job of soldiering on in this Grand Prix as well, and hopefully he doesn't get another puncture, but I've probably jinxed him now, and that will be the commentator's curse, to say the least. Then Marvsky is coming into the pit lane to avoid any punctures, to be fair, which is a good timing indeed, as I didn't want to be a cause of any more problems there for Marvsky. But there we go then. Rocket Lee then onto the main straight. He's going to try and return the favour and get himself back past his teammate then in towards turn 1. Liam's picked up a penalty then into turn 1 we go then, and Rocket Lee is back into the lead then on lap 25. Then 8 laps to go then at the end of this one. Hungry Styles then is keeping them honest as we go through into turn 3. Then what Reflection and Hungry Stars want here is just to work together, I think, really, to try and get themselves a 3-second gap then over Winnie, who is storming on then. The problem Winnie's got then is the tyre life, as Rosa Sky gets himself past the McLaren of Sand then into P10, I should say, sorry, and now charging on then as well. Then what Winnie's got a problem with then is not really trying to gain then on these on the top 3. It's going to be the tyre life to the end of the Grand Prix. Then can he get those tyres to the end of the Grand Prix? He will have to do trying to do maths here, 16 laps on the stint. Then I think that is for the medium compound tyre, which we've seen already. They've punctured then at lap 14 of the stint then, or for Marsky that is, which is was a big shame indeed then. But that can be an indicator then that the tyres are not the way to go then, or the ones that you're going to lean on then in this race, and especially on the left hand side then of these tyres, of these cars I should say, as we go through then lap 25. Then Ducanco has passed Vintage for P17. Then Jake the Slayer is up the road. Then we've got a problem for McLaren. It's Sand then. Sand's off the track then at the top of the hill then into sector 3. Then he's gone off and he's got himself back on the way. They're still running in the points paying positions, and again could gain those places back and on his teammate and Liam as well, then with the penalty situation for those two as well here. So it's not all done and dusted just yet. And Chlorine Pilot's picked up a 3-second penalty as well, as I said that, so I must have cursed him. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but commentator's curse is real. Sand also picked up a penalty as well then, my goodness me. So there we are. Then into the top three we go, and back again. I should say, will Winnie's tyres hold on? Is the question. Then as we go through, then into turn 7 and 8 now. Styles, oh dear, Styles has gone on the curbs. Then that's going to unsettle the car. Then that's going to be costly indeed. Then and could cost him DRS. Then as we go over the crest of the hill, then once again, then he has still got DRS, but now Winnie is only 1.6 seconds behind here as we go on to lap 27 in just a few corners time now. Yeah, it's getting very close indeed at the top of the order. Then Dynamo Dan has still got Housey for company as we go through sector 2 as well, then on to lap 27 in just a jiffy. Rosa Sky starting to close in then on Stephen Anthony. Then Stephen Anthony's brought that gap down to 5 seconds then to the 2 ahead of him then, but he's now got that lap car then of Marsky I think as well to contend with as well. Then Chlorine Pilot trying to get himself past Liam then, but Liam's holding on for the time being as we head into sector 3. Brilliant stuff indeed. Out in front. No changes for the lead this time then as we go through into turn 3. Then driver of the day is out in the comment section. Winnie, Mushroom, Reflection and Styles are your candidates there as well. Then Marsky set the fast lap of the race, which is great stuff indeed. That's an extra point for Marsky then, and fair play to Marsky as well for soldiering on in this Grand Prix. He's been very, very unlucky with the puncture then in the first stint then on lap 14, and he's done a great job then of just keeping at it then in this race then, and could get himself an extra fastest lap point as well, despite being at the back of the grid then. So long as he finishes the Grand Prix, he will get that point as well if it's still with him as well then at the end of the lap then. And Reflection's got off then, and Styles has got into the back of him there as well. Then the damage I'm sure for Styles as we cross over then onto the top of the hill. Then Winnie's gone through for P2, and Styles then has he got damage there? Yes, he's lost the right end plate then for Styles then, and Mushrooms up into P4, Reflection down into P5 then, and Reflection has got damage I'm sure as well then. No, he hasn't. So that's a big change indeed then for the top of the order then. Will Styles be able to carry on to the end of the Grand Prix? Yellow flags up there is for a Red Bull then. Reflect this with the Kanku off at turn 3. He's got himself back underway then. What's happened to, is Styles carrying on? Yes, Styles is carrying on here. But unfortunately that right end plate damage which we saw earlier on for Vintage as well, then he's going back past Winnie then into turn 1. And he's going to make the move stick as well then, to be fair, for Styles then. Can he get that car slowed down is the question then. With that wing damage is the other problem then for Styles then. But he's got himself through, and this could mix up this could definitely mix up the order for driver of the day. So keep your votes to yourselves for the time being there. But that is massive news then. Reflection then has lost out massively as well, but will get himself back in contention. Then Styles then with that damage is going to be very, very upset with that, I'm sure. But Reflection has got himself back past Mushroom as well at some point. But wow, Reflection lost it at this part of the circuit here as well. Then that cost him Dillian. Wow, Winnie's off the circuit at the same place, but thankfully no big issues then. Sands passed his teammate then for P12. But my goodness me then, Styles now 4 seconds adrift then from the race leader of Rocket Lee, who's quite comfortable now then at this point of the race, I'm sure, because you can see all the turmoil that's happened then after Reflection. His teammate spun then at turn 7 and 8, and now that has cost Styles as well a front wing, or part of a front wing I should say, as we go down in the hill to finish off lap 28 then of 33. Then Styles has got to do 5 laps of racing then with that wing damage as well. Then it's going to be very costly indeed. He could still hold on to a top 5 position I think around here. We'll have to wait and see then, but Winnie's going to try and come back out in towards turn 1, but he's not too close. He's not close enough I should say to make the move then. So can Styles hold on then, is the question now as well on that front wing damage, and it doesn't seem to be hampering him too much at this point. And fair play indeed then to try and stick it out as well. Then he is not holding everyone up, to be fair. He's still within a shout then of a podium place in this Grand Prix, despite the penalty as well. Then potentially we'll have to wait and see then how it all unfolds. And Winnie might be in danger of getting a puncture like Marsky did as well. So that could be another factor then in this race. Then San and Liam are battling into turn 1. Then San has not been passed, not passed. Sorry, Liam. Liam holds on to P11 for the time being as well now. Goodness me then. Yes, it's very, very treacherous out there indeed as Winnie's gone off the circuit again then. And that's, again, going to hamper his distance as we go into turn... Oh, goodness me, I thought Reflection was going to dive in there as well then. Chlorine Pilot back past his teammate Sam then into turn 5. And these two are having a great battle indeed for the McLaren pair. Then they're just literally going at it then for P12 and 13 as they go through the race then. But the attention has been drawn then with all that as Winnie is into the pit lane then. So Winnie is calling it a day on his medium compact tyres. He doesn't want to risk the puncture then for Winnie. He is calling it a day then as quickly as possible. Then he's now into the box then. He's going to drop down the order then, but he's going to go very quickly in the next couple of laps or so then. But unfortunately, it's going to cost him quite a few positions as well because everyone's so closely packed as well then as we go on to lap 30 now. and that is Stephen Anthony. Then he's got a Red Bull right in front of him, or behind him very soon, or in front of him very soon, I think there, but not into turn 1 for now. Then Winnie on the soft compound tyres comes out in P9 behind Rosa Sky. Then he's going to be very quick as Winnie then on those soft compound tyres. Has he left it a bit too late? Then those soft compounds would be brilliant then for the next 5 laps or so. Then down the inside goes Umabro, then up into P13, not quite then, because Chlorine Pilot is back through, and up into P13 now for Chlorine Pilot. Then good stuff indeed. Some great battles unfolding in the last few stages of this race. Then is Chlorine Pilot going to go down the inside? It's close. Then Liam's almost closed the door then on the McLaren, but he's got himself through. Then I think has Chlorine Pilot or not. Then as we go into turn 5, and Liam's got the inside, not quite. Then Chlorine Pilot just ahead then as we go into turn 5. My goodness me. It is all action out here, to be fair. As absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. Then Rocket Lee is storming off in the distance now. He's got a 6.5 second gap. Then Reflection has got himself past. Well, Reflection passed Winnie, of course. Winnie pit the last lap, didn't he? Is he going to get himself back up into the top of the order then for Reflection? Then into P2. Then he's got himself past Styles now and up into P2 as well here. But Mushroom is on a charge then, and Mushroom is holding on then to these two as well. Then with the penalty situations, which we haven't looked at, to be fair, 3 seconds then for Reflection and for Styles as well. Then Mushroom is in control of potentially a top 2 finish here, and Smithy might be having something to say about that as well. Then as Rosa has passed Winnie then for P9 here. There is Winnie then. Look at that then on the soft compound tyres. He's going to try and sneak down the inside. He has snuck down the inside on the soft compound tyres as well then. My goodness me. And up into P9 now. Can he chase down Stephen Anthony as his next target then? But there's not many laps to go then in this race then. Soon to be the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Rocket Lee. Oh, that's Reflection, sorry. That's Reflection then. Don't worry, Rocket Lee fans. Reflection then out of turn 9 then, almost losing the car, it looked like there. Hungry Stars has lost DRS then as well. Then that's going to be problematic indeed. Then Miss Smithy Almighty has got the hurry up then from his race engineer to try and catch up to Serious Mushroom then and Hungry Stars, because he could sense a P2 on the cards here with the penalty situations unfolding their way. Dynamo Dan then is holding up a lap car there, so he's going through into the final corner then to finish off lap 31. Then here comes Mushroom then on the charge. Then can he hold on? Then Styles has lost out to the DRS then of Reflection, which could be costly for both Mushroom and Smithy Almighty as well then, if they of course lose that 3 seconds to Reflection here then in the last 2 laps as well. Then Hungry Stars is going to try and push on then and try and keep up then, of course. But Mushroom then and Smithy Almighty as we go through into turn 4, not quite there as he's pushing the Alpine through the corner there. Dynamo Dan then is still holding on to P6 then ahead of Housey, who is now putting the pressure on that Williams as well. And as we go through into the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, Winnie then is closing in rapidly then on Stephen Anthony. Then he might be under pressure then in the last lap then of the Grand Prix. Then there is the Ferrari, there is the Williams then going through turn 5. Then it's close indeed. Rosa Sky then P10 for the time being. Then Chlorine Pilot with 12 seconds penalties then might lose out to his, will lose out to his teammate and Umabro as well. Then potentially to Liam and to Mr. Elite then as well. Then as we go through then into the latter part of the race and the last lap of the race then about to unfold. Then here is the race leader of Rocket Lee. Then he is flying down into the final turn to start off the final lap of the Grand Prix. Then Rocket Lee has drove a flawless race, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'll come back to that one. Mushroom then is holding on. Then he's got himself in contention then with some DRS down the main straight. I'm losing my breath as we go through then into the final lap of the Grand Prix. What an action-packed Spanish Grand Prix it's been from bronze in. Absolutely fantastic. Yellow flags out there for somebody else now as well. Then I think that's just Decanco getting out of the way then of those coming through, which is fair play to Decanco as well then. But Styles then with the damage as well is soldiering on out there. Then he's holding on to that position as well then. And now on the final lap of the Grand Prix then he's just about within touching distance then of Reflection. This is going to be fantastic news for Mushroom then and from Smithy as well then as they go through then. Where is Stephen Anthony? And he's being passed by Winnie then into turn 1. Then Winnie up into P8 then recovering on those soft compound tyres. My goodness me then, it has been a chaotic Grand Prix to say the least, as Liam and now Liam's in the pit lane. So what's happened to Liam then? He's decided to call it a day on the well, he's going to go for the fastest lap, I think, then is Liam, but could have got himself another handful of points there as well then if he stayed out then for one more lap then. But Rocket Lee then, he has driven a flawless race like I tried to start last lap then, but Rocket Lee crosses the line in just a jiffy to win the Spanish Grand Prix. Then Rocket Lee is your race winner here in Spain. Then what a fantastic drive then from Rocket Lee to claim the top spot here in Spain as well then. Brilliant then, flawless like I said then for Rocket Lee then. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed to see P3 for Rocket then after a fantastic qualifying as well then. And pole position to the checkered flag then. Rocket Lee wins in Spain. Serious Mushroom then with a fantastic race as well then. A first P2 of the season then for Mushroom then, and what a result then for the Alpine machine then. Kept it clean and tidy then as we go through then. Decanco has left the session, but Mushroom then has deserved all the plaudits then as well then for a fantastic P2. The Alpine on the second step of the podium then as well here in Spain. Brilliant stuff indeed from Mushroom. Smith the Almighty rounds off the podium places then with a fantastic drive for Ferrari then. He looked pretty good indeed then, very racy indeed then in the first couple of stints as well then, and got himself back on the podium places then. Reflection loses out with the penalty situation then into P4 then with that 3 second penalty. Then same for Stars then down to P5 in the end. Then we did think Stars then would be best result for Stars then would be P5 after that damage as well. But fair play indeed, soldiering on with that wing damage as well for the last 6 laps or so. Wow. Yes, well done, Styles. Indeed, that wing damage then was, very costly indeed, but a fantastic result then nonetheless then with that penalty and the damage, to be fair. You have to say then, Rocket Lee then on pole position. There he is then, his first win of the season. Fantastic stuff indeed for Rocket Lee. I might be wrong on that, to be fair. Serious Mushroom then in P2 then, a brilliant podium then from Mushroom as well. Then Smith the Almighty rounding off the podium places for Ferrari here as well in Spain. Wow. What a race that was indeed. We'll get some interviews underway in just a jiffy once we've had the podium celebrations and run through the classification. But there we go then. What a race it was indeed. I'm just about caught my breath and just in time for some interviews as well. Quickly run through the classification then as we see it then as well. Then there is Rocket Lee on the top step then. A fantastic win, like I said, from pole position to checkered flag. Then Rocket Lee takes the crown in Spain. Mushroom in P2 from P7 on the grid as well. Fantastic race from him. And Spithy Almighty P3, Reflection P4 and Styles P5. Dynamo Dan in P6 for the championship leader. Then that could be a bit rocky then for the championship leader then with those closing in behind him as well. Then Halsey then in P7, a good race from Halsey in the Mercedes. Winnie P8 with the fastest lap as well. Then Stephen Anthony in P9, Rosa Sky P10, and Umabro P11, Sand P12, Chlorine Pilot P13, Mr. Elite P14, Jake the Slayer, in P15, rounding off the points paying positions. Wow, great stuff indeed then from Bronze. Then we'll get ourselves some interviews underway, I would hope so as well. Let's start with Rocket Lee. Rocket Lee then, our race winner tonight then, a fantastic result indeed then from pole position to checkered flag. Did anything worry you in that race? Did you have it all under control?
The only thing that worried me during the race was just the tire management. On the stint of the hards towards the end, the grip was just starting to go, and I'm just glad it's over now.
And you kept it in control then, although we saw quite a few lockups from yourself then. Were you worried about the tyre wear in that race? I'm guessing not even with the lockups, but with the general tyre wear overall in that race.
Well, not general worry, just more I was having fun.
Good stuff indeed then. You looked quite comfortable indeed, especially towards the end of the race there. Did you see what happened behind you then with your teammate?
I did, yes.
And he left you in quite a comfortable position after that then, but were you just managing to the end of the Grand Prix from there then, making sure no mistakes and just cruising to the finish, or were you trying to get even more of a gap then to the rest of the field?
No, once I come out of the pits, I noticed that Reflection was right behind me. There was a couple of cars in between myself and Smithy, so I thought ideal, I can just concentrate, stay focused and just cruise it to the end.
Brilliant stuff indeed. Congratulations as well then, well deserved tonight then, Rocket Lee, our race winner here in Spain then. Brilliant stuff indeed as well. Congratulations from myself. And there we go to Serious Mushroom then in P2 tonight then. Mushroom, how are you feeling after that result?
A lot better than I was last week.
Good stuff indeed then. And of course you were battling then, quite consistently to be fair, you were battling then in the top of the order then for the big points then. And of course as the race went on then, you got yourself up into P5, up into P4, and then saw that the two had their incident together as well then, and that gave Styles damage there, which is why he was struggling in that latter part of the stint there as well, the latter part of the race. Did you expect a podium on the cards then when you saw their penalties, or did you just have to worry about your own race in that sense?
Well, first of all, that makes me feel worse now, knowing that he had damage and I caught him up. That means I'm so slow. Yeah, but I seen what happened in front. Well, I don't know exactly what happened, but I seen him have a collision. and then I realised that they both got 3-second penalties. And I thought Winnie was going to stay out and all, actually, till the end. So it quite surprised me that he went in. But I didn't think that I was going to get a podium. I thought I was probably going to get fourth, maybe fifth, because I thought Smithy would do me and all.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you think about that horrible Smithy guy then trying to catch you in the final couple of laps?
I was going to brake check him, but I thought I might get frowned upon.
Correct. Good stuff. Congratulations then, Mushroom. Then P2 tonight then, a brilliant result indeed.
Well done everybody else on the podium.
Well done indeed. Smithy Almighty then did round off the podium then. He wasn't brake checked by Mushroom, and he got himself a podium there here tonight then. Smithy then, did you think a podium was on the cards then at the beginning of this Grand Prix?
No, definitely not. Well, actually saying that, to begin with, I thought there was a small chance, but about 10 laps before the end, I don't know what happened. My brake pedal just went. I had to press it like 10 times harder than I usually do just to be able to get myself stopped. So that was causing like a bit of a lock-up issue, and I lost quite a few places. So when that happened, I thought I had no chance. So yeah, quite happy with it.
So you're doing it classic F1 style then, with no ABS or anything, just slamming your foot on the brakes, hoping for the best sort of thing.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Well, you got yourself up into the podium places, like I said, with Mushroom as well. Then the tangle between Reflection and Hungry Styles, then it was, well, as Mushroom sort of alluded to, it was basically going through in Sector 2 up the hill then, and Reflection spun on the curb then, and Styles was too close behind him really to avoid, unfortunately for both of them, to be fair. But it gave you a great opportunity to run into the podium places then with the penalties as well for those two ahead. What was your strategy then when we saw that happen? Was it trying to get past Mushroom for that P2 as well, or were you just playing it safe?
Well, to be fair, I didn't actually see it happen, so I was quite surprised when I saw they were as close as I did. They were on the time tower. So, but yeah, no, I'll have to watch the race back later and see actually what happened there, because I didn't get a chance to see it.
Maybe watch it on mute because I've got to commentate it. So yeah, there you go. But congratulations as well then, Smithy. Then of course P3 in the Drivers' Championship before we started tonight. Then what's your thoughts then after getting another podium then on the cards here tonight in Spain? What's your thoughts then for championship aspirations then going into the next few rounds of the season?
I mean, there's still a long way to go, I think, to be fair. And Rocket Lee's just put his name back in the hat again. So with that win tonight, so yeah, it's going to be a very tight championship. By the looks of it, there's probably, I'd say, half the league that are going for it at the moment. I'd say, but yeah, it's gonna be tight. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep a little bit grounded at the moment. I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet, especially after the last couple of seasons.
Good stuff indeed, and fair play, and congratulations as well for the podium. Then we've just had from Smithy that the top of the order then, or the top half of the championship are in the fight. Then Mushroom for champion. It's being called now on round 7. We'll see it in round 20 or whatever it is. But congratulations then to the top 3 then. So Rocket Lee, our race winner then, Mushroom in P2 then, and Smithy then P3. We'll round it off in Spain then for tonight then, but we're back in action in Spain tomorrow for the 100% League. So stay tuned for that then. That's going to be very exciting stuff indeed as well. So we'll see you there. Good luck indeed to everyone who's racing. I will need it as well, but I'm going to be commentating instead. But we'll see you on the next one then. Thanks very much for joining us, and see you soon.